What's good? It's Zype here. This is going to be a good how to make your own super staining ink. I'm going to show you how to make the ink. I'm not going to show you every ingredient that I make to make my good ink, because really that's kind of my, it's my business. First, what you're going to do, you can either do it with however many pens or not, but you're going to want to go get some ballpoint ink pens. My favorite are Bic crystal pens. The tubes are big. They're easy. You're going to unscrew the pen. I did it already. See, I just made all these ink. This is about 90 pens. You pretty much take the top off, and they'll just be this, and you just pull it out, and you do that over and over again. And what you're going to do, the way we're going to make this is, what you're going to need is you're going to need some scissors. You're going to need however many pens you want. You're going to need some rubbing alcohol. This is a 90% rubbing alcohol right here in this bottle. You're going to need a bottle. You're going to need something to hold your pens and rubber gloves. So we already told you, you get all the pens and get all the pens out. First, you get every pen out so they look like this. And after you do that, you're going to first want to know how many pens you counted. And my ratio is, for every 80 pens, you use a cup of water, or a cup of rubbing alcohol. So I like my ink kind of thick, so I used about 90 pens, and right here is pretty much a little under a cup of rubbing alcohol. What you're going to want to do after you get all your pens, there's going to be a big pile of them like this, and you're going to want to just pull the top off like that. Do it to every one. You do it step by step. You don't do this and then do it all. So first you get every pen like how it was, then you pull, make another pile, you make them all like this, and after you get them all like this, you're going to want to cut the barrier right there off. There's like a little plastic thing right there. You're going to want to snip that off, and then you're going to just have a perfect ink tube. And if you can see black on both ends, then it's good. And then you're going to want to cut that in half. And you do that into my pile. As you can see, I already had a bunch of them. So I've got all my pens here, and there's ink coming out there, so I know they're all real good. And this is going to be a dark black violet-y ink. Next, you're going to want to measure out your ink. And you can do whatever ratio you want. The lower the alcohol ratio pens, usually it's good to get just pretty much a cup every 80 pens, or a half cup every 40 pens. If you want to do less than that for 80 pens, the ink's going to be thicker. If you want to do more than that, it's going to be waterier. It's not going to be good. I like my ink kind of thick. This is pretty good. I did almost a cup, not quite, with 90 pens. After you do that, after all this is done, you got a big thing of pens like this. You're gonna grab your ink. You're gonna grab your. I don't want to get my bottle messy. All right. So you're gonna just start putting the pens in the ink. And what the rubbing alcohol does is it pulls the ink out of the tubes. And I put something else in here. I'm not going to really say what it is. It's kind of my own little thing I made up. You can, if you search through forums, you can probably find out what it is. But so pretty much, I'm just going to fill all these pens in here. And the best thing about these pens is the tubes are really, really big. They're not little skinny, and the ink comes out really easily. So all this ink will be out. You don't have to wait a whole day or nothing like that. All this ink will be out probably within the next 6 hours. But I never take the tubes out, because it uses good as a shaking thing, and there's just no point of getting those out. I just pour my ink into my mops and stuff from this bottle, or if I'm going to do anything, I pour all the ink into a different applicator bottle. So, and as you can see, it's starting to get kind of messy at the bottom of it, because there's a bunch of ink that came out. That's how you know if your pens are good for this, is if ink is coming out before there's even rubbing alcohol. And I've seen lots of tutorials on how to do this. I just wanted to do a tutorial, make it look, just show you guys a little easier, And so I'm just putting every pen in here. Even if you think it's not too much pens for the amount of alcohol, just stuff it in there, because it's better to have your ink thicker than looser, because you can always thin your ink down with some alcohol. You see, I've almost got every one in there, not quite. And this down here, it's getting really messy. It's like inky down there. These are really good pens. And the last batch I made with these pens, I used half these pens and half other pens, and it came out so well. And I know it wasn't the other pens because I've used those other ones. So these, I'm really excited to see how these turn out. And as you can see, look, these pens here, hold on. Alright, these pens are like not even going in there. So after you do that, take your rubber gloves off, because you always want to keep anything that's not going to be just used for crap. You want to keep your stuff clean. You want to look professional. You want to keep your bottle of ink clean. You don't want it all messy, so you want to get that. Then you're going to put the cap on, and as you can see, look at this. Look, it's already really dark. That's what, the quicker you already see opacity, the better your ink's going to be. And then you're just going to shake, and look at that. It's already that dark violety. I can already tell this ink's going to be really good. And then after I do that, I usually like to add a little .3 just to add in there, just so I might add a little more later, but I just want to put some in right now just to make my ink a little more. I mean, this is really good. It slows down the drying process. I just do one cap. It slows down the drying process and helps it stain. Doesn't do much more than that. I mean, it kind of does eat away into the surface, but the best thing you can do with your inks. Alright, if I'm gonna say this right now, I don't know why I'm gonna do this. Just give me props for this. I ordered 3 fluid ounces of pure Xylene off a chemical supply website online, and I just got it. And I'm gonna probably put an ounce of fluid Xylene in this ink. This ink is gonna be so permanent. I'm gonna add fish oil. I'm gonna add a bunch of other stuff. And then I'm going to add also some Garvey. This is going to be some super staining juicy ink. So as you can see, you can't even really see, this is already going to be super good ink. It's Zypere. Give me feedback. Ask me questions. Yeah, so that's pretty much how you make your own ink. Go out there, experiment. Teach me some stuff. Give me some fucking tips. Peace.